All right. Hello, everybody, and welcome to We Grow Wednesday, where we grow, and we're going to talk about awesome things tonight. So let's get going. If you're watching the replay, check it out and let us know what you think. We're going to be right back in about 4 minutes and 20 seconds after playing this intro. Going to get some time to hit that like button and share us out. If you could help us out with that, we'll be really appreciative, and then we'll be right back. Thanks.
The indoor farmer has a tale to tell. Under the glow of LED lights where his stories dwell. He's not just growing greens, he's sowing seeds of thought. In a studio with a microphone where wisdom's bought. We grow Wednesday from 8 to 9. Tune in, folks, for a communal time. With Waylon, we'll learn to grow in life, in love, and in what we sow. He's a man of the soil and a man of the word, a veteran with a vision, his voice undeterred. From cannabis tales to the latest farm tech, his shows where the nerds and the farmers intersect. He lights up the airwaves with truth and care, sharing joys, the highs, and yes, the wear and tear. On We Grow Wednesday, we're all one big team. Growing together is the ultimate dream. We Grow Wednesday from 8 to 9. Tune in, folks, for a communal time. We'll live and we'll learn to grow in life, in love, and in what we sow. He's a man of the soil and a man of the word, a veteran with a vision, his voice undeterred. From cannabis tales to the latest farm tech, his shows where the nerds and the farmers intersect. He lights up the airwaves with truth and care, sharing joys, the highs, and yes, the wear and tear. On We Grow Wednesday, we're all one big team. Growing together is the ultimate dream. We Grow Wednesday from 8 to 9. Join Waylon for our journey so fine. Learning, laughing, and sometimes sad, but always together from the good to the bad. He speaks of the benefits, the pros and the cons of the plant that has helped him feel less withdrawn. With guests from all walks, stories to share, Waylon makes sure that no one feels like they're there alone. So come every Wednesday, find your place in his light, where Waylon, the indoor farmer, invites you to grow not just plants, but your soul, your mind, in a world where together we're truly aligned. Tune in, grow with us, let's expand our view on We Grow Wednesday with Waylon. It's true.
Waylon, the indoor farmer, has a tale to tell. Under the glow of LED lights where his stories dwell. He's not just growing greens, he's sowing seeds of thought. In a studio with a microphone where wisdom's bought. We Grow Wednesday from 8 to 9. Tune in, folks, for a communal time with Waylon. We'll learn to grow in life, in love, and in what we sow. He's a man of the soil and a man of the word, a veteran with a vision, his voice undeterred. From cannabis tales to the latest farm tech, his shows where the nerds and the farmers intersect. He lights up the airwaves with truth and care, sharing joys, the highs, and yes, the wear and tear. On We Grow Wednesday, we're all one big team. Growing together is the ultimate dream. We Grow Wednesday from 8 to 9. Tune in, folks, for a communal time with Waylon. We'll learn to grow in life, in love, and in what we sow. He's a man of the soil and a man of the word, a veteran with a vision, his voice undeterred. From cannabis tales to the latest farm tech, his shows where the nerds and the farmers intersect. He lights up the airwaves with truth and care, sharing joys, the highs, and yes, the wear and tear.
When the indoor farmer.
All right. Hello, everybody, and welcome in. It is Wednesday, December 18th, 2024. We Grow Wednesday, every Wednesday at 8 o'clock Central Time. It's all about growing as people, as we maybe talk about the stuff that we are growing for our food and for our sustenance. We talk about things out there in the world of agriculture and whatnot. And it's all about trying to just learn something that is, common to all of us. We all got to eat, right? So if you all can help me out, hit that like button, share us out with some friends. We have a special guest coming on tonight. I do want to find the intro. Here it is. Yeah, I see you guys coming in over there on the YouTube and Twitch, X, Rumble, Facebook. What's up, guys? Come on over. I see a Kick. Oh, I see Sandy on Kick. Cheers, cheers. So tonight we have a friend that I met on X. So we shouts out to Apothecary. We had a space on Sunday with a lovely panel of very knowledgeable guests. And this guy stood out to me with his sense of humor, because I felt like him and I maybe connected a little bit with throwing out some jokes, keeping things light, keeping things entertaining is important, right? And so I read his bio, and looks like he's a avid gardener. He's got a wonderful community of gardeners. It looks like, amongst other things, cult leader and founder of cults. All kinds of interesting things. So without further ado, let's find out who the guest for the night is. We've got our friend Smith in the house. What's up, Smith? How are you? I can't hear you for some reason. Huh. I saw that you had to pop it. It's all good.
Now?
Oh, there it goes. Yep, I hear you.
All right, cool. Got you now. Cool. You can see me. Yeah, I'm just playing with this little bunny rabbit I found here. I was like trying to. Oh, this is Christmas cheer. I'm in this cabin in the woods right now, and I'm just passing through. So I didn't know if I would have enough signal.
I think it sounds pretty good.
All right, cool. Yeah, it was really nice to meet you. I'm a grower too, and cultivator, as you said, cults. But yeah, I just spin the hat a little bit. Yeah, because.
I'm waiting for people to come in and be like, "What's this about a cult?"
Right.
I don't know if we're gonna get that here.
Yeah, there's quite a few of them now. Actually, it's kind of funny.
I like the hats. One hat that I don't have. So people that watch the show know that I have about 1 million hats. Yeah. Over here, and some hats for sale. Check them out. The Indoor Farmer hats for $40 shipped. Just kidding. So actually, look at this. I'll show you. Above my head here.
Oh my goodness! Wow.
Those are just some of the hats that actually fit on that rod.
Nice.
Can you go
That's
back?
a lot, man. Your setup is amazing.
Can you get smaller again, please?
The camera.
Thank you.
Whoa.
All right. Well, so I saw that. First of all, you were co-hosting Space. So, what'd you think of the Space? It was a good panel, right?
Yeah, it was great. I mean, I knew a lot of the people who were there because we've been in Spaces so long. You know what I mean? We've had the most of that stuff was. I mean, shit we've talked about 1 million times. Can I swear in this thing?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
swear.
Stuff, I mean, we talked about that stuff about 1 million times. You know what I mean? So to us, that was old news, but it was cool to be able to come together before the holidays and do a cool space about. Because I was hanging out with the homesteading community there. Long time ago. I've been out in Spaces, like I said, 3 years, and we like social audio podcasting, so.
Yeah, it's a different thing. I've been talking to my audience on Facebook about it for a while, and I did advertise a little bit that we were, what's up, Chuck? Thank you, Brenda. Appreciate that. And it's something I've brought quite a few people over there. They pop in, like here was Cindy. She went over there and hit the comments for me. We do little giveaways and different things, and sometimes I give people a higher chance to get the said win if they go over to Rumble and X and some of my alternate platforms that I like. There's Margaret over there on the X. So
Nice.
yeah, so guys, we found Smith on X, and he is now he's worldwide. Now you're across the internet. Just kidding.
I just
Now,
don't want my I don't want my
rabbit have a
grandma.
name?
I won't want to talk about smoking weed because my grandma might see this. You know what I mean?
Smoking some garlic, okay.
No, this garlic I got from one of my favorite organic farms in Quebec because I was up there.
Oh,
Yeah, I lived in Montreal
okay.
for some years. Yeah, and but this stuff it's in Ripon, Ripon, and it's one of the nicest family farms I've ever seen. And they grow a lot of things, but they're known for mostly for garlic and organic sprouts. Yeah, up in Canada. Yeah.
So I want to start growing some garlic. So we're going to get into that, guys. We're going to get into the old, the questions. Like, I wonder if you can juggle hats. Can you juggle multiple hats?
Yeah, the question when I start juggling balls, as soon as I juggle 3 balls, the first question from any adult is, can you do 4? And the answer is yes, but the truth is that juggling is a lot more. It's high work energy for low output, and so what I found is that people, for some reason, people really love to see the hat manipulation with this particular hat. And I'm not sure why, but I got this one in Detroit. I mean, you can get them all over the world, but the hat store in Detroit, I mean, it's been there forever. And, I've destroyed a couple of them now, but I had one for a whole year before I would spin it because I was afraid to ruin the damn thing because it's so expensive, So.
Oh, I see. Like a good one would be expensive, yeah.
Yeah,
like a piece of junk. So it makes me want to play a little tune here. I'm going to play a little ditty. No ditty actually, but a little tune, we'll call it. And it's a little old timey, but it's more of like a blues thing. That hat kind of reminds me of maybe the same era. We're going to see if I can find it here. I thought it was really interesting. It's got kind of like the same kind of a scratchy sound to the audio that you might have heard back then, and now for some reason I don't. It was this one here.
There's Wayland the indoor farmer begun with seeds in his home and passions so clear. He teaches us all how to grow year by year. Wayland the indoor farmer, he's the guy.
Is it too low or too high?
It's pretty low.
From hydroponics to the soil's embrace, he's building a world
higher.
sustainable place.
Higher? Okay, well, let's crank it. Let's get this party started, guys.
Yeah, crank it, man.
Well, we can't talk over it if we do that, but we'll play it for
Yeah. That's a dope jingle, though. I just want to hear it.
Wayland says start small, watch it grow tall. With the motto of sustainability in his core, he's the voice for those who've never grown before. Wayland, the indoor farmer, he's the guide in the digital space where we reside. From hydroponics to the soil's embrace, he's building a world, a sustainable place. Wayland, the indoor farmer, he's the guide in a digital space where we reside. From hydroponics to the soil's embrace, he's building a world, a sustainable place. We speak of the journey from
yeah, man, that hit.
He's building a world,
yeah,
a sustainable place.
Some good stuff. I've been experimenting with a lot of AI music recently, so it's pretty good. Tell you what, though, we have to have something. We have to have entertainment. We have to have culture. We have to have it all built around some of the things that are the most important things to us, and survival in general is the most important thing to us. And when you have a bountiful harvest, survival becomes a much easier thing. So careful. Bean Dongo in the house. What's up, Bean? Oh, snap. He's I can do that with my hand, like.
Yeah, it's a good one. Kids love it.
What's
well,
up?
that's all clowning is, man. It's just peekaboo. It's just advanced peekaboo.
Oh man, don't tell us that, because
that's all it is.
Brings me back to a bad time. No, I'm just kidding. So let's hear. So what do you say about yourself? Let me just reword it. Tell the people who you are, what you do, kind of thing, from your words, because entertainment seems like a big part of your life, and I like that about you. But the growing side of things, and sort of like, what
Hmm.
brings you to that world? You know, who are you
Sure.
and what do you do? Who is Smith?
Sure. Do you
Jimmy
actually play the
Lee.
music the whole time we're talking?
I'm gonna turn it down. I'm gonna turn it off.
Okay.
Maybe that's when it's over.
Yeah, cool.
Should be. It
Yeah, I
should have
didn't know.
stopped already, but
Right on.
oh, it's not over. I see.
Dang, yeah.
What I will do is I can play some instrumental music really
Sure.
low in the background, which we do
Cool.
like.
Yeah, that'd be dope. Yeah, as long as it doesn't have lyrics, yeah, I can do it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool. Yeah, man. So that's the picture you used there, the Jacques Fresco. I mean, after I was in the Air Force, I was in Honduras, and I saw the poverty there, and it really changed me as a person. And I ended up have a hard time sleeping at night, and I was like, what does the world need? What do I do with my time? And I think that was kind of like before and after Honduras, seeing that, and then coming back to the United States, and also seeing that our people in my own country, it's like just having basic needs met is becoming more and more problematic or difficult. And so I learned about sustainable living. I learned about earthships. I learned about all this stuff and these movements that were happening, including a film called Urban Roots, which is about the urban farming boom in Detroit. So we went back to Flint, my hometown, and started a project with the kids I went to Maharishi University with, because they had a sustainable living program that was that's in Iowa. They still have it. I'm still friends with my professor, the Stimsons, and them. Shout out to the Stimson family, Big Blue. So yeah.
Did you say Stimson?
Yeah, Stimsons. Yeah, Mark Stimson, Sandy Stimson. Yeah.
Stimson. Oh, sorry.
Yeah, not quite. So I did like probably the biggest food forest installation I've ever done at their place. Maybe it's an artist collective, so that was pretty cool. I spent a lot of money on that one to get the right, spend the money on the good cultivars. It makes a huge difference.
It seems like a lot of veterans are going to a agricultural. I don't know if career is the right word, but it's sort of thinking. Because you can only stack so many bullets, and I get it. You could take someone's food or something to that effect, but someone's got to grow it, and I think a lot of veterans. Wait, so what's this guy's name?
Rabbits, I don't know. Just someone has it in the cabin here, but rabbits got to eat, man. Here's what I feel about it. I want to come. Look, I mean, because that's the thing about permaculture design, right? Like they had the same thought at the same time, which is that no one waters a forest, or why not model agriculture after a forest, which is a self-replicating system, right? And it makes sense. No one waters a forest. And so then I'm like, holy shit, dong. It's like the aha moment. Why isn't this shit everywhere? What's the downside to doing sustainable infrastructure, permanent green infrastructure and shit? It doesn't make sense, man. Like food is held hostage at the grocery store to the highest bidder, and nutritional density is a fucking joke, man. It's pathetic. Yeah. You know what I mean? So that's the final frontier.
And we think calories, but instead of thinking of the nutrition, and they kind of got us off of that. So I like the picture. Let me pull this picture up, you guys, because it is a little funny. Yes, I'm aware that it looks like a very large penis coming out my face right here. Check this out.
Oh my god!
Now look,
come on, man. You had to fucking say it, man.
Hey, look, I mean,
whose dick is that?
I did it. But look, I mean, I could have. Look at your picture of the pile.
No. Hey, at least I'm going at you. Okay, thanks a lot, man. Okay. Now you gave the joke away for the meme. Someone's going to use it. Okay. Oh no.
Well, I knew it.
It's all over.
I mean myself actually. I mean myself a lot. It's fun.
No, it's funny. I love that
picture of this episode, and so I thought it was good.
That's cool, man. No, I appreciate it. It's a cool honor to have someone like do an episode with because part of the thing for me is everyone's always asking about social media and like recording videos and stuff like that. That's a lot of work to do all that stuff, And so unless I have someone or can afford to do someone, then it's less important to me that people can see it than I can actually do it, right? Doesn't that make more sense?
Right.
It's just everyone's so obsessed with the almighty dollar that they never reach a point where they're like, hey, I have enough now. This is enough. And now I can look to my community. It's like, how much do people fucking need, man? How many handfuls of food? You know? So it's like, it's just fucked to me. It's like the shit with the CEO stuff, man. They deny people health care and calling people terrorists because who's the real terrorist, man? You know, fucking people who swipe a pen and just let people die for fucking money, man. It's bullshit. So,
Hmm.
you know, that kind, and that's why this is why the resources are so important. Having people are fight over resources. So making a sustainable system with abundant resources, and it's not impossible.
Well,
It's not a pipe dream. You know, I just don't buy that.
wouldn't you say the basis to that would be the knowledge, arming ourselves with knowledge, and the knowledge would be, I am okay. I'll put a positive spin on this. There's actually quite a few advertisements now of different books that are coming out
Mm,
from different people that are like whatever lost knowledge books, herbal
mhm,
remedy books. Like there's a lot of those. There's one I keep seeing now that's got all these like realistic uh, illustrations of
mhm.
people's hands on how to start fire, how to do this,
Sure.
what to do with this plant, and all these little pictures and stuff. It's pretty good. Robert, I see a lot of comments from you, bro. Yeah, like the way what he's talking about and what we talk about when you're talking about a permaculture setup, you would include things like meat and protein and all of that. Like so, I'm not 100% sure. You're just like listing all the things. So, is there anything that you would say is it would not work in a permaculture situation? Like you could have maybe, I don't know if you could have beef in that situation. They might be trampling all your stuff. You'd have to like keep
Well,
it
Sylvia,
in the.
that's what cell grazing is for. You know, that's a great system is to do a. In fact, there's a guy in Georgia, cowboy. He does spaces, the homesteading community, and they talk a lot about cell grazing, and he runs pigs actually in a forest, which is
Tell
a
me
really
more.
yeah. I mean,
So
it's
great.
cowboy, man. Yeah, I mean, he actually contacted me because there was a big job that was down in Jimmy Carter's hometown. I don't know where it is, but I never heard back from him. I hope to hear from him on it again, but it was a lot of land. It would have been my biggest project ever. But you know, I don't know, man. I've largely given up. That's why I just preach to the choir and kids. It's like you said, the entertainment angle. My idea, I have a three character act. I go to the library and I tell the kids about it because adults don't listen. They already know everything. So the choir is you, whoever's listening to this, basically garden people, people who smoke weed or use it as medicine. Those, and I'm a clown, you guys. I'm from Flint, Michigan. I'm working class. You know, I don't use my real name on the internet because it's the age of identity theft. But fucking, it's not like
Whoa,
people
whoa,
don't.
whoa, 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 whoa! Your name's not Smith. Is it Jimmy?
I've changed my name so many times. It's not funny, man.
Oh man.
Yeah, yeah.
Hey, I don't know if I agree with Robert who says potatoes are out. And Jay says potato blight happened in 1914. Yeah, I believe there was definitely some blights because of potatoes, but I don't know. I think I've heard some different opinions on potatoes recently. I think a lot of things are fine if you're eating them with less of the preservatives and chemicals and I guess those are the two things. But what say ye, Jimmy Smith?
About potatoes?
Yeah, do you think
What the?
that's the
Oh,
starch
read
is
the
bad for
comments.
you?
Potatoes shove full of fucking sugar these days. Potatoes are out. 68 grams for a decent potato. Potato blight happened 19. Society's fucked up because the government lets the immigrants take out
Robert
money
hates
and send it home.
potatoes.
Weed is bad for cholesterol. Potatoes are actually poison. Okay, there's a lot of stuff here. Yeah, I mean, look, the food in general is fucked. Okay,
Yeah,
food in general is fucked, and because okay, and you know, I'm from the U.S. Like my ex was from France, and we went there and spent many months in France, and we ate there, and
exactly. What's
it's
up?
kind of a backward thing where the food quality is really high there. They care more about food and the culture. Like they sit at the fucking table all the time, man, and they're just like it's all these courses and shit, and it's really cheap. But then the opposite side is like you pay more for housing or whatever, like your phone bill's cheaper. So there's trade-offs. But largely, like growing up in the United States, it seems like people care way less about food, you know? They just care way fucking less about food in general. Like no one gives a fuck about vegetables or clean. but there's so much the chemical usage. I've seen it, and I know guys who've done it, and they've done it successfully, man. To clean up our food system, it's not impossible, okay? And even the UN says that
Regenerative.
small scale organic farming, meaning growing in your own fucking suburban lot, which is more than enough space to grow food for 4 people. You know what I mean? And most people don't even have 2 kids anymore, for crying out loud, you know? So
I talk about that sometimes, and people get really mad when I bring up when I make posts about that. I made a
About
post
what?
the other day that said, it literally just said, "Do you think it's weird for a man to want more children?"
Hmm.
And I didn't even say that that was me. People would make
Okay.
assumptions. People would make a lot of different comments. People that think that we already have too many people on the planet, and we have this and this. Like, I just it was intense on how many people were just all about it. Like, there's
Yeah.
a lot of people though that say no, that's perfectly fine. And so it was an interesting split on who said what, you know.
For sure.
Do you
Yeah, I mean
put
anything that
chemical in your
promotes.
smoke? Jay says. Jay, I wouldn't put. I try not to put chemical in my smoke, but I tell you what, that's why I bought the e-nail, and I try to get things that make it as clean as possible. But there's always some danger to what you're using, right? Mama Rochi, what's up? Go ahead, Smith. I'm sorry.
No, it's all good, man. Call mag even CalGrow or anything else because reserve. Yeah, in terms of weed, like I mean, I'm from Michigan, so we had weed pretty early, and it was really cheap and really good. Okay, so it's a little ahead of the curve, but yeah, in terms of people still did that. They think they would buy organic chemicals or whatever. Like there's an organic version of it. I wouldn't discourage people from growing their own weed, but
I agree
if
with
you
Mama
look
Rochi.
into what it takes to make soil, which is the way, really, it's the soil that you're concerned with, there are certainly ways to do it that do not include buying a bunch of stuff. Okay, meaning a bunch of chemicals that are marketed specifically for whatever. Now, I've also seen the flip side, which is the best permaculturist I've ever met, going to the fucking Canadian Tire, which is the equivalent of Walmart, and buying, some little bullshit packet of fertilizer and using it on like literally Cirque du Soleil. I worked Cirque du Soleil as a fucking permaculturist for like 4 fucking hours, literally. Okay,
Hmm.
that's it. He paid me some cash to help him to cut 4 species I can identify because I know, I don't know how many species, but more than I know a grapevine, for crying out loud. But he was really using it actually. Like he would chop it up and use it right in their food garden to feed it back to itself, which is the common sense thing to do. And yet the aesthetic is so the aesthetic, like people want it to look a certain way. They're obsessed with this instead of what actually works, which is mulching the system, the heavily mulched system. So we have to learn how to accept that style.
Heavy ground cover, yeah. They like it to look pretty and look cute and stuff.
Right.
Like there's a lot going on with that ground cover, and I've actually been just like with the average person's yard, looking at leaving. I saw this video on leave the leaves, leave the
Yes,
leaves, right?
dude. Every year,
Leave the
I
leaves.
look forward to those fucking memes every year, man. I love that hat, dude. That's sick. Where'd you get that?
I believe I got it at Target, and I wore it once or twice on a couple shows last
Okay,
week before
nice.
I even knew that it lit up. That was the
Well,
key there. Like,
yeah. I don't have it. I need a Christmas hat. All I got is this one. This is a hat that I got when I was in Nashville because the lady gave it to me for being a clown,
I
which
mean,
is a
now
pretty
that's a
cool
nice
gift.
hat, though.
Isn't that
That
nice?
looks like a clown hat. That
Yeah.
definitely
Shout
looks
out to
like a clown.
Asheville. Shout out to Asheville for the awesome hat. Thank you. That's really
I
cool.
can see that as a clown hat for sure all day.
Oh yeah, and by the way, look, this is Red Nose. You guys, look, this company, if you want one of these noses, it's Red Nose Factory. You guys,
He
they
said,
have all kinds of noses, like flesh-colored noses. They have like Halloween ones, dog noses. They got all kinds of shit. You guys, check out Red Nose Factory. You guys, no strings, no glue. Okay, these are revolutionary noses if you're into this stuff, and even if you're not, it makes a great gift for Christmas. It might be a long wait right now, though. It's a little late for that, maybe. But it would be a good late Christmas gift. And I don't make a penny, okay? I'm just telling you, they're great.
he's not affiliated by
Not
the.
affiliated. I'm sure he
Jay,
would
I
denounce
know I
me,
have
and
my
he would be
mask
right to
on
do
still.
so.
See, this guy named Jay in the comments
Yeah.
here, we call him Perb Jay from the UK.
Okay.
He's in the UK, so he's up real late.
Uh-huh.
Must be drinking grandpa's old cough medicine again.
Yeah. Yeah, we have
The
a
nose
lot of
factory.
people
I'm cutting mine off. What? Holy cow! Cutting your nose off, bud. Don't do that. Smash.
across
We
the
got
pond.
Smash's garden in the house. Okay, so Smashley wants to hear more about permaculture
Sure.
because that's you know,
Sure.
a cool thing to talk about, right, Smash?
Right.
So she says she's always wanted one of those noses. Like, yeah, you can get different. Like, it looks like you painted his nose red instead of a round like fuzz ball or a foam ball, right? Your nose is still on.
Yeah, permaculture. I mean, look, if you guys wanna, I'm actually finishing my course on X, and as soon as it's done, I'm gonna redo it. But if you want to hear the original, I actually read from You Have a Large and Beautiful One. He's not a good sales rep. Oh
I'm
my
just
gosh,
putting
you
that.
talking
I'm just
about
putting
me?
them out for
People are
people that
so
are
rude.
raw.
Facebook? You're on
If it's
Facebook telling me I'm a bad salesman?
yeah, don't
How
worry.
dare you?
It's funny, the people on X, like when you bring up
Ah.
Facebook, a lot of times they cringe on the spaces. When you bring
Oh
up
my
Facebook
God.
in X spaces, they will just start clowning on you.
Oh
Like,
my God,
no pun
Facebook
intended.
losers. No, I'm on Facebook. Yeah, I just don't, I have all the stuff over there. I'm just joking. I'm on X though because I like the social audio podcasting and I'm really into sociology and cults, and like social behavior and stuff like that. And of
Cult
course, on
leader.
my other, yeah, but yeah, I mean, I've designed a lot of cults at this point. The Bat Squatch Gang is one. They battle disinformation. Purple People, that's another one. That's hard to describe, but that's the point of that one. And there are other groups and guilds that are interrelated. But one thing I've learned from working agency management is that you never want to necessarily presume to tell people what to do. But if you guide if you it's just knowing a little bit about organizational behavioral patterns, and just kind of being delicate and knowing how to deal with nuance with people, and of course humor, man, humor and entertainment, like you said, brother. I mean, if we bring the message to the people, it's like so and so said, you want to tell someone the truth, make them laugh, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
That's why stand-up
Yeah.
comedy. I'm in your part with stand-up comedy. I'm right there with you, but I don't know, man. I feel like comedy sucks right now, except Bill Burr.
Really? So I watch, like I told you before the show, I've been watching a lot of Kill Tony.
Yeah, no, I heard that a lot of people watching that now. I've never seen
I,
it.
I'm way behind. Like
Sure,
it's like 13 years in or something like, or no, it's like
sure,
a year, like 10 years and something in.
sure.
But I've only watched, like a couple dozen, maybe a dozen or two episodes, and it's very interesting. They're really bringing back a feeling of comedians being able to let loose. And we all know why that's important, as far as like being the relief valve of society. Society's relief valve, being able to actually joke about things
Right.
and openly talk about things that are real and make the joke happen. But I also think that we have comedy and entertainment connected to every other pop culture, popular thing that we do, right? And so why not the stuff that is the most important, and that's us, like surviving on a daily basis. That looks like the rabbit from like
Monty Python.
no, I actually was thinking Summer School, where these two guys, like, they made it look like these rabbits attacked them. They used fake like movie skin, and they had it look like these two rabbits had attacked.
Oh my gosh!
Yeah.
Yeah, you know what? I actually did a puppet show when I was at Maharishi. It was crazy because Fairfield, Iowa is a weird place, man. There's some weird, cool people there, and this one lady, Francesca, shout out to Francesca. She actually worked in Jim Henson's workshop, and not only that, but she actually makes the puppets, like really high quality ones. So I had made friends with her because she had trained some people there, some women since they were young to basically do it, and they were really good at it, and it's really hard to do. But basically, she trained me on some of it. I got to use them in the play, so I love
Did she
puppet
teach
stuff.
you how to install someone's soul into a puppet?
Someone's soul into a puppet, man. That's some Chucky shit, man.
No. Well, okay. Oh, okay. Touche. That's not what I was thinking first. Previously to Chucky, there was a string of movies called The Puppet Master.
Oh
and there were about
man.
four or five of them,
Hmm.
and you had a bunch of like friends, I guess. It's like there could be a whole meme of there where like the group, like the TV series Friends, you know, they all get put into puppets. Anyway, it is interesting though to see this hybridized
Mm-hmm.
world where we have people that are coming back to nature,
Mm-hmm.
like say you, where maybe you're a professional, you go to this city or that city to perform, but
Mm-hmm.
you are also at heart a person that knows the importance of the nature and the growing and stuff. And for like me being
Mm-hmm.
like an urban farmer, all of these things, they're all sort of half measures, but it's going to eventually there's going to be a bigger range of people that
Mm-hmm.
have more of their foot into the garden side than they
Mm-hmm.
do into the knot. And I think that's kind of the
Mm-hmm.
movement we're trying to instill, or trying to
Mm-hmm.
at least make popular. And
I
I,
hear
I
you.
like I like the back and forth of people in the comments. Like you guys, you know, a lot of you have been watching me for a long time. Hello, Debbie. How are you? Um, we got Santa Claus and a clown. This could be good. Well, look,
Well,
Lisa May, come on in. That's what it's all about. You know, both of us have to eat. Clowns have to eat. Even
that's
mimes
right.
have to eat. Mimes, maybe they don't make any sound when they're eating, but they do have to eat. Smasher says this guy's acting how my brain works.
Good one.
This is
Good
yeah,
one.
he's acting
There we
out
go.
what happens inside my
Come on,
brain too.
purple cape.
Yeah, totally get it. Oh, the purple cape. Okay,
Yeah.
what do I got?
This
What
I,
do I
I
got
got this
here?
in Colombia actually. It's now my because I'm a library. So this is for the third act of the play, right? And it's basically a library play for kids. And the first act is Silly Uncle Bud, right? That's my clown. And
Billy Uncle
originally,
Bud.
yes. So
What does
then
that
the
mean?
Silly Uncle Bud. Well, they don't call me Uncle Bud, right? That's actually, in fact, you know what? My mom came outside. She said your sister had the baby, and I said, oh, I guess I'm Uncle EJ, which is what most people call me. And she said, no, Uncle Bud, because that's my family name on my mother's side. And I was nicknamed that since I was a kid. So I said, wow, Uncle Bud, that sounds like the friendliest guy I ever heard, you know? And so I was actually, we were actually smoking when that happened. So yeah, kind of. Yeah. So I didn't smoke
Uncle
till I was
Bud.
27 years old, man. I got out of the Air Force when I was 27, and I never smoked weed once, man, not once. So I tried it when I got out, and it really helped me. I mean, shit, man. You go from not wanting to live to let's kick ass at life. Let's do some shit. You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
being able to stretch and feel my back and like, cause I have chronic pain and shit, man. Cause they let me in with scoliosis, so I was really fit and fast and stuff. But the thing is, as you get older, it wears on you, and especially because they're not necessarily comprehensive about the healthcare, brother, as a lot of people
Right.
know. So I mean, I'm just learning about this shit now, like trying to heal, and it's like it would have been better to start earlier. I had an Uncle Bud. See, it's a friendly name, man. Why have you the red nose on your face, Jay?
I told you
I'm going to teach you something about life, Jay. I'm going to tell
he's
you a
in
little something.
Ireland. He's in
Ireland,
he lives
they don't have
Northern
clowns
Ireland.
in Ireland.
Northern
PTSD is
Ireland.
hard to tame. That's right. It's true. And also moral injury. Moral injury. That's something that I don't know if you guys talk about that, but it's a new thing, and it came out a lot with studies on people in the military, and also since COVID, and people who are nurses and shit in the hospital. So, and other people who worked in the healthcare industry. So that was a discussion I had recently, and I didn't know much about it, but you can read about it. It's called moral injury, and it just means feeling like you were betrayed by the society, man. You know, like
Yeah.
you know what I mean? Like everything is
Well,
a lie type thing. Like all this shit adds up to what exactly? And then you find out it's like it's not this rosy picture that they paint it to be. And it's like you're taught it. I have a naive heart, I suppose, man. You know, that's why I'm a fucking
yeah,
clown.
well,
You
we
know?
all did. We were kids going
Sure,
in, but
sure.
so what? I made a post about it not too long ago on my
Skunkle.
Facebook. Yeah, I like that. Nothing like homegrown says. Uncle Bud, my favorite skunkle. I love it. It's great. But what my post was about wasn't live. Thank you. Come on in, guys. Hit that like button if you could, please. Help me out here. And so the post had a picture of the sort of framed picture that I have. I was going through a bunch of old boxes of stuff to get like
Mhm.
more organized, And this picture has a bunch of different pictures on it of me about the time I joined and about the time I went overseas, like not a year or two later.
Sure.
And part of the post had written about all of the respect and all of the sort of positivity that you get in the beginning when you join and when you're going and like,
yeah,
oh
yeah,
like
pat you on the back.
You're gonna get so much pussy. You know what I mean? And it's like
it
that's,
doesn't hurt.
Well,
it doesn't hurt.
I mean, that doesn't hurt it, but at the same time, you're like, boom, and then you just get kind of used up like a roll of paper towels, and you're left like an empty husk.
Oh boy.
All right, let's not go too.
Boy.
What's up, Brandon? How are you, man? We all have a hard life. You're right, Jay. Everybody does, and that's what brings me. That's actually one of the attitudes that brought me out of any sort of like feeling of me, woe is me. Why they this and that? Me. Like is this right here? We all have a hard life. There's always somebody worse off than you, and like these kind of mentalities kind of bring yourself out of your own, out of your own shadow and looking at just yourself, you know what I mean? And and so growing food is one of the ways that veterans have done that, because growing something with our own hands, you get to see it grow. You don't have to have a boss or someone over your shoulder telling you what to do. So I don't know about you, but man, I cannot stand the people that the ones that are like they're promoted to the manager and they're just like yes men, or they're just doing whatever.
There's a petty tyrant around every corner.
They
can't wait to move up in the world, man. It's all of us. We're all guilty of it to a certain extent. Anyone who can resist it, man.
Not that he moved up. If I respect a manager, it's different.
Sure.
A manager that's doing the job themselves, doesn't they walk the walk kind of thing. Those kind of managers are awesome. I love being led by somebody that seems to have a clear vision and knows how to execute themselves, not just pointing the finger and here you get this done.
Right.
There's a difference, a leader versus a manager, and that's
for
that's
sure,
hard.
Man. I mean that.
Think about how our veterans, Vietnam vets were treated. Yeah, it was much worse. They were probably not even given. Well, I don't know. I bet they were given that respect going off to war as well. Maybe not, because the war was being protested when we entered it. I'm guessing. I'm not listening there, but I'm totally guessing that they didn't necessarily get that warm send off like we did.
Right.
So that's true. It's a good point.
Rah war. Yeah, the U.S. never met a war it wouldn't sign up for, brother. That's our whole culture. We worship the military, and we basically go around the world, and everyone knows what we do except us. So
it's a wealth extraction tactic, and that's from us, like our own wealth too. Extracting it
well, you keep dictators. You either deal with the rebels or you deal with the dictator, whoever's going to deal with you, and you support one or the other. You know what I mean? And you create instability in the world, so that way we can remain top dog. I mean, some say that's that's the only way to deal with the world. And look, when you're younger, you have more pie in the sky ideas. You get older, you realize. But look, man, at the same time, we have to still fight to create a better world. It's not like we just fucking give up on it because, you know what I mean? Because people want to have dick measuring contests with their fucking submarines or whatever. It's like, that's all. It's just a big dick measuring contest, man, where people fly around and try to invade each other's airspace and stuff, man. It's
that's
fucking
exactly
crazy.
What brought me
territory,
out of it.
man.
There's still stuff. There is still a, let's say, best outcome way of life, and we're finding out, and I was just listening to a show today talking about how finding out that people were happier as farmers.
Sure.
Like that people fantasize about going back to the farming life, and the work that the physical strain you're put on in a farm is good for us. Actually, we find out
exactly,
and we actually like the whole lineup of waking up with the sun, and
it's a great way to live your life.
Like in general, like all these there's all these general points that line up with what people are striving to go do, be like homesteaders, or at least, or these sort of like what I was talking about earlier, having 1 foot in and 1 foot out, like these sort of 60-40 homesteaders, you know, where they still have a job,
Yeah.
but they have like a few chickens, a few goats, they have
Sure.
a few things. Like there's a
Yeah.
lot of that happening now.
Yeah.
These sort of like halfway homesteaders. I'm not
Sure.
sure how you would word it, but
Sure.
I'm liking that. I think that's really cool. If everybody started having a supplemental thing, you know.
Sure. Halfway
Um,
homestead, and I like that. I might do a space called that. That's a good idea.
yeah, it's a good word. I'll write it down for you.
Halfway
So
homestead.
let me know let's hear about your community on X. I mean, I like the name of it.
Sure.
It's that picture I pulled up that looks kind
Mhm.
of like a penis. I don't know if that was on purpose, but it does. So
It's actually just a picture I grabbed really quick because to throw some up there. I literally, that's a community I really haven't spent a lot of time on. It's really
oh, okay.
recently created, but it's there for people who want to take the permaculture course. My main community is Purple People, and then the other one, I'm a Colonel of Bat Squatch. That's what they call me, Colonel in Bat Squatch. So
Bat Squatch, huh?
I'm second in command. You know what I mean? So
Bat
basically,
Squatch.
yeah, the
That's
Bat
the name of
Squatch gang. It's called the Bat Squatch gang. Yep.
Okay.
It's
So
it's a rather small but very dedicated guild of men. Yeah. Yeah.
halfway.
And we battled this information on the internet and with many different angles, but it's a lot of people who basically are. I mean, there's a little rocket scientists, NASA people. There's ex-military people who founded it. You know, one guy's Dan. He's signal intelligence. And then, of course, just amateurs, man. There's plenty of great amateurs who like to do logic and reason debate. And we started with flat Earth because, my God, I mean, there's just these people running around saying the Earth is flat. And
Did you hear about that recently, though?
the final experiment, man. It was a big day, baby. We've been waiting for that forever, dude. It finally came, and guess what they did? They moved the goalpost again. Go figure.
I haven't seen that. What I heard was they had to admit that the Earth was round.
No, man. No, I know the people there, man. I'm telling you, it's weird when you spend that much time with people. It's like you're frenemies, you know. I try to make friends with people because same with Fresco taught me. You know, he was the guy who would single-handedly like dissolve KKK groups by literally becoming friends with the guys, and just you know what I mean, through education, because a lot of the stuff is just due to lack of access, man, lack of access to time, resources, and education. You know, and it's like you said, trying to send a message to the people that the food supply, the supply chain. It's not just food; it's supply, timber, resources, water. Okay, clean water, clean food, shelter, and medical care. That's what people actually fucking need. But it's become, now we have social media. It's like it's gone too far where I'm an influencer. I'm in some foreign country getting arrested because I went over the top and no one's sorry for you. You know, this is why I try to like stay hidden a little bit because I'm like, you know, man, as soon as people are like, yeah, it's so great, and then they want to turn on you, and it happened to me out there. But it turns out that the person who infiltrated our group turned out to be someone who was doing it to all these people out in I should say where, but basically they're politically connected. And it was just a Joe Blow, whatever, but her family was someone, I don't know, but basically I don't know how she got away with all that shit and is not in jail or something, but you know, she was anyway, I was vindicated at the end, but basically the point is when the lights come on, the roaches scatter, man. You can't trust people. As soon as the people are pointing at you, they don't want to be standing next to you. You know what I mean? Because everyone's pointing at you. So it's like, oh, he did it bad, but really I didn't, man. I didn't do shit except try to help people. And man, it's a crazy thing in the world. You think you're trying to help people, you know, you get everyone to be like, yeah, let's do it. But man, no, it's not like that. It's a lot of jealousy. It's a lot of who do you think you are? And I'm just like, dude, I thought this is what we were supposed to do. I thought we were told, like, you know, help the community, do good. And you fucking try to do that and everyone just shits on you, you know? So we slowly find the people who actually want to put in the time, which is a patience game. And it's putting in time and out of fucking thankless, unsexy leadership, man. This is why I talk like this and then do unsexy leadership like the other guys we train together and create guilds. We call them flock, school, or guild, right? Flock of birds, school of fish, or guild of plants, okay? And so it's like when you go to diabetes camp, your kid goes to diabetes camp and they have, well, we're group 8 and we're great and we're always late. You know, they have a group with like, you know, their little clan, their little tribe, right? Because if we're going to send people to travel and visit these intentional communities and these other places where you can learn this stuff and that we form actual communities, that's why I got into cults, because when I started the project in Flint, everyone, I go on the radio and they're like, oh, is this a cult? I'm like, dude, I don't know what's a cult. Like, you know what I mean? I'm trying to do the right thing, form intentional community, and now I'm a cult leader. So you fucking do the work. I'm trying to show leadership. I'll be
Right.
second in command. But you guys are just fucking making excuses and shit and making all these arguments over whatever when we know the things that need to be done, and we're just complaining all the time and being jealous of each other and fearful and feeding fear to fucking line people's pockets, man. Fucking fat cat CEOs and also these influencers who basically don't know that they're, it's like the business model is exposed, okay? The business model is exposed, pitting people against each other, man. You know, when we're on the same fucking team. So that's why it's like, that's why it's purple
Right.
people. It's red and blue together, man. Purple people, okay? Because fuck all that politics or people talk people's names and shit. You know, to me, when you talk honestly politics, it goes into human condition and what it means to be a human, especially in the digital age, like what your song says,
Right.
you know?
Yeah, well, that's why I try to tell people politics is literally part of everything that we do. It's not. The word politics is sounds dirty to most people, but literally everything we do has a political like end or conversation to it. Everything, your sleep, your food, your travel, your living space, all everything you can think of has a connection. So ignoring it is kind of a non sequitur in my opinion. But got to run. All right, Mama Rochi, have a good night. Will Rose, what's up, man? Guys, if you haven't yet gotten yourself in on the number post, make sure you do that because I'm going to be doing a spin in a little while here. But yeah, I definitely think that we need more people within that range where you're just trying to make it. You're kind of doing the same thing where you're trying to make it more popular, but in a way where you're not making it sensational in the news, kind of popular, but growing one person at a time. No pun intended. But like you get one person who is really truly about it. And you find out that they need a place to, connect,
Yeah, to cultivate.
Okay, see what you did there.
Ding that bell. Ding that bell. Come on. No, it's true though, man. You basically, it's like when you're on the street. When I would go door to door and I would convince people to grow food in the front yard. Okay. And I convinced all these people on the plateau in Montreal, so I would do a tour and charge $20 a head and walk them down and tell them what I did. I made these perma sculptures. That's what I call it, perma sculptures. So I realized, man, you take a stack of biomass, plop it on the ground, you can buy a bag of soil and put it right in there and make a hole, make a triangle, make a circle, whatever. I call it a hugel pod, whatever, and plant right in the fucker. In fact, if you just take fill and scrape, like clean up around the edges and throw that in there, plants will magically appear, you know? And then, like, for example, dandelion, which the root is very, very useful, for example, will come out like butter in those things. And this is an example of, like, how you teach kids to make them and put them everywhere, and the dogs use them to pee on them. It's a way to design and teach design through social ecological constructs, man. It's like an apple tree in Flint or many cities. There'll be an apple tree where apples fall to the ground and rot because there's no, like, event or thing to teach people how to harvest it and like hang out and drink tea together and learn about shit and pass down the knowledge to each other because we're so busy looking at this fucking phone all the time, man. And so there's kind of this weird disconnect where until this thing is implanted in our fucking heads, and even then it's like you can talk to someone and they don't look you in the eyes anymore. You know what I mean?
Right.
To the point where literally people are going to be computing, looking off like this, because I have ADHD as it is, if you can't fucking tell. But, undiagnosed or whatever, but everyone knows I'm like that. And I got plenty of others besides, my own problems besides, but that's not the point. I'm just saying, like, I can't remember what the fuck I just said anyway, you know? So I'm just trying out here to have a little fun before I die and be able to sleep at night, man. Just to be able to sleep at night, to know that, like, what I do each day is trying to at least not like be self-righteous and make the world better, then at least to fucking not make it worse, man, you know?
No, I totally get that because for me, I have a plan and I have an idea of what I can do until I die. Like I have this whole list of things that I'm going to be working on. But at the same time, to your point, like I may not be able to get to some of them because I work on my own speed now. Like I'm able to do that, which is it's a very privileged situation. But that also means that I'm also not pushing forward as fast as maybe I could or maybe I should. But at the same time, I don't want to overdo it. I don't want to over stimulate, not overstimulate, but like I don't want to cook the, make the pressure release too fast. I don't know. I'm
Yeah,
trying to
man.
think of a better way to say it, but yeah,
Yeah.
it's just something with me. Like I find that I work better
Mhm.
when I let myself kind of work out thoughts and ideas in the background as I'm doing other work. I kind of
Right.
have an ADD kind of a thing going on myself. But if we can get back to at least moving in the right direction versus worrying about having the whole homestead and all of that stuff, like not to worry about already being there and at the end of the race, but just making the steps towards the goal. And that's all I can count on. Maybe I'll never. I always think of this. Maybe I won't ever get to my end goal or my end vision, but having something to work towards alone is like that gives you purpose, right? We need purpose in life, and sometimes that's a lot of what we're having trouble with. You're saying part of that is the addiction to the phone and technology, and I don't disagree. But I think another part of it is like having a reason to look away, purpose, and some of that is what I talk about, making it more entertaining, making it more fun or cool to show pictures of your plants, right? How do you get cool pictures of your plants, Smith? How would we do such a thing?
To get cool pictures of your plants, you use your phone. What do you mean?
Well, you have to grow the plants. You have to have done the cool thing. You have to have made the thing. You have to have looked away from the phone long enough to get that plant to the point where
Sure.
it's a cool picture,
Well, I
right?
would say you
So
should
that's
learn
my
to
point. It's
learning
real
to
life.
forage, learning to forage first. You take
Okay,
pictures of other
touche.
plants, right?
Oh yeah, no, I agree, but my point is like
Hmm.
to get those cool pictures of plants outside, you have to use the technology to take the picture,
I'm
but
sorry.
you're
You're
bringing the
indoor grower guy. I apologize. Listen, I hate on in-grow stuff, but only because like I try to get everyone to grow permanent systems. But you
yeah,
guys,
no, I like it.
any way you can grow is great. And don't take it personal because growing indoors is better than fucking not growing at all. And tell you the technology we have now is so great. It's getting better to where more people, it will empower more people, it will become cheaper and easier for more people to grow indoors. And I think everyone should do it, honestly.
Yeah, and I always talk about it as a supplemental thing. I don't expect to grow everything until I have some kind of big warehouse, like actual commercial
Mhm.
farm that I can eat. Well, I love the comments, guys. Keep them rolling in, but we will get to some if we can get to them. They did that part of the world, yeah, right.
Always say do what makes you happy.
I I don't remember where I was at, but I'm trying to get the numbers together on my subscriber
Mhm.
locations. I'm doing like three things at once here too.
It's
I,
cool.
I like it, but at the same time, I think it's a
Mhm.
development because of technology where
Mhm.
we are constantly needing six forms of input like happening to us at one time, and it's kind of crazy, but we're sort of moving that direction. That's I think a lot of people point to autism for that because of the sensory differences that they have and how they work with technology, and it's an intriguing, like, I don't know if it's a real evolution or at least a partially man-made evolution of happening, but yeah. Anyway, I like my son has autism, and he
Mhm.
really enjoys plants, and he really enjoys eating
Cool.
vegetables and straw and fruit. Like
Nice.
those are his favorite things, and so I think
Mm.
the more of that I can grow that he'll eat, the
That's
better.
amazing.
The better Although obviously we're having trouble with meat, and I want to get him to eat
Yeah.
more meat, but he is not a fan of eating meat for me lately.
As long as he gets his protein.
Yeah, he may grow out of it, you know, but I always push back on that because he can eat lots of peanut butter, but he'll never get the same kind of protein that he gets. It's a different
What about
protein.
red lentils?
Well, but it's a different protein. I don't mean the amount of protein.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, protein from red meat is different than
Mm-hmm.
protein from plants. And I'd have to look it up to know what the
Mm-hmm.
name of them are, whatever the
To me,
chemical
sure.
name is.
To me, China's study kind of cinches all that stuff. I mean, I'm not a vegan. You know what I mean? I eat meat, but to me, it's like the science. You know what I mean? In terms of the China
China
study.
study. I haven't
Yeah.
seen this.
I mean, that's pretty much the strongest argument for all that stuff.
Okay, I'll have to check it out.
Yeah.
So,
And it's not just China. A lot of people say that. It's like, okay. Some people
that's
don't
just
want
what
to
it's
look at
called.
evidence. You know what I mean? So I
For sure.
understand that. I know about flat earthers, so I understand.
Well,
You
I
know what I mean?
like to look at evidence personally. I think
Mm-hmm.
it's better to know than to not know. And even if it's not definitive, it's not something that's going to change your
Hey,
mind
Lord.
fully. Leaf Cycle, what's up,
And,
bro?
and follow me on
Later.
X, Jimmy Leaf Tender. Mm.
That's funny. He's the only one. I think he's the first and only one so far that brought up the cult leader that I saw.
Mm-hmm.
That's
Technically,
awesome.
I'm not leading any cults right now, though.
Cult builder, but not leading
Yeah,
right now.
I'm convenient. Look, all I want to do is inspire the people, like 3 to 5 other people, to commit to the group, and then I can go away. The cults work best. There's people who are good at starting things, and there's people who are
But
good at running things.
not running things. Yeah, I
Yeah,
gotcha.
and the thing is, though, the key is that it's not based on money, and a lot of the best cults are based on money. But for me, I want Care Bears. I want Island of Misfit toys. I want naive souls, naive, innocent souls. People who
In the blood of the innocents.
people who want to do good in the world, man. People who truly want to do good, in a very naive sense, you know. And there's something inside a lot of us that just want to do good in the world, and it seems so hard to do. But if we can band together and at least talk about it sometimes, and sometimes our ambitions outreach our little hearts, but at least we try, and it makes us feel good about life, and maybe we help someone along the way, right?
Yeah, I think that's part of what I do is I try to learn something while I'm doing it. I try to keep myself entertained, and the rest will follow. Like I have been going through this whole journey of social media, and it sucks. I never liked social media. I could have been doing this for many years if it was something I was just really in love with,
Oh,
my own voice.
Joe said Jim Jones used Kool-Aid. Correction, I know your father. No, correction, it's Flavor Aid, okay? And it was purple, and that's why we say come for the Kool-Aid, stay for the kindness, okay? I say purple people come for the
Flavor
Kool-Aid, stay
Aid.
for the kindness on X, and the reason is
Sounds
because
fake.
not everyone knows what the expression drink the Kool-Aid means. And to me, that's the first lesson of cults, is to know about that cult, to know the expression drink the Kool-Aid. That means you can hang out with people, you can go to an intentional community, but you don't have to drink the Kool-Aid. It's the same with any sports team, any ideology, any religion. I don't care how big or small. There's a sense of fervor in the group, and they believe in something, and often it doesn't necessarily make any sense, okay? And in fact, it works better if it doesn't make any sense, because they just want to collectively agree. It's a groupthink thing, right? It's how we are supposedly as Homo sapiens. I don't know if you saw the study. It's controversial about the idea that we were hunted by Neanderthals for 100,000 years, which I think is pretty interesting, supposedly near almost to extinction on more than one occasion, and came back from a group as many as small as 20 people, perhaps like a few groups like that, which explains why Homo sapiens are so closely related, okay? Because like people on Earth, no matter where they live, are really super closely related. Most people don't understand that there were like other hominids. Like there was even a hobbit called Floriensis. There's all these different creatures, right? And so we're just remaining. So we're very successful and we're very closely related, even though we pretend like we're not. But, we define ourselves by our differences. It's like I like everyone in the whole world. Everyone says that. I love everyone except their neighbor. They don't like their neighbor because their neighbor speaks a different language, just a little different. They eat the food just a little different, and it's a threat to what their identity, you see. And so there has to be a sense of clan. But at a certain point, if too many people come outside the group into a group that's already established, then there'll be there'll be a revolt because people feel like ownership over the thing. And so that's why you walk away. Sometimes things are better small, just 5 people or 10 people, and that's enough. That's okay. That's a success. We don't have to shoot everything to the fucking moon and millions of dollars. You know what I mean?
Go
Like
big or
some
go
people just
home,
need someone to
Smith.
talk to.
Go big or go home. Yeah, no, I hear you.
Don't
It's
go
a
walk
proven
on me.
fact that humans have a much better control on their community at 150 people or less. Once it gets above 150 people, it starts to degrade, where we don't know each other. We
I
can't.
thought it was
know
120, but yeah, something like that.
Yeah, and it's a whole thing. But I want to just let you guys know we're going to do the spin here in a moment. We went up to 29 people. We're going to have one more spin tomorrow night on people in the boxes, and just to promote tomorrow night, we're going to do our last episode of the year, people in the boxes, which will be all about the current events this time for December. We do once a month a current events episode, but mostly we do a topic that is a very common topic, ranging from all sorts of things that are mundane to things that are more difficult to talk about. Something common that most people will have a common an experience on, either directly or indirectly, and we discuss we share our experiences on it versus arguing over our opinions, which that happens as well. But sharing your experience on stuff is less likely to be something that you can argue with. I can't argue with Smith's experience on being a clown, even if I'm a clown, because he has a different experience. So what we do is we share those and we create perspective on Thursday nights. So definitely, if you're looking for everyone to come back tomorrow night, we have another spin again for the subscribers. If you want to get on the wheel, let's be a subscriber. Think about subscribing at the beginning of the year. Would be awesome to get some of you guys in the community. I see a few of you in the house here. What's up, Perry? Where's my red nose? I thought it was on already. I used to have one, actually. My son has one somewhere, but it's one of those just red, like foam noses, I didn't think about that.
Yeah, when I give those away, I always teach them a trick. I say the creative constraint for this nose is that you have to push it to keep it on your face. So I say but it helps if you make the noise, and you just push your nose like this and go like that, and then it helps you actually keep the nose on. So each time you do a move, you just push. That's the only thing you have to do. You just have to keep poking the nose. So that's clowning 101. There you go. Just keep pushing that nose back on.
Poke.
That's it.
Well, what about the noses with the strap?
With the strap, those work too. It's just that they fall off sometimes. But remember, you don't need a nose to clown. Okay. It's just that it's a beacon. It's like a flag that tells other people that they can join in on the fun, right? And if they don't want to, then you ignore them. Okay. Like that's how I do it. It depends. Like if you're in a city or a bus or a train or something like that, because I've done it all over Montreal and in different cities, and if someone is into the vibe, then you blast them with you give them a little clown energy, you give them a laugh, you sing a song, something like that. But if they don't, then you just ignore them, or you make fun of the fact that they're they're all far too serious for this nonsense, right? This kind of stuff. And I learned from Tom Foote, who was like a community clown, and he had his TV show long ago. He's a blue collar working class clown. And then Andre Broussard, who was a famous director from Quebec, who I clowned for until he died at the hospital. And I was basically the guy to hang out and help him with his mental health. And I did stand-up comedy and clown the street and tried to impress him, so he would teach me any secrets that he could tell me about, like fancy theater shit. So yeah.
We're clowning on the streets.
Yeah, and I've done schools in Honduras, and then I did some libraries, but not many,
So would you call that busking or panhandling or?
No, I usually don't do it like that. And that was the thing that confused me at first, because everyone thought I wanted money, because I didn't understand that. I was just literally trying to get good at clowning, okay? And so I'm a strolling performer. That means I'm slowly walking all the time. And so I'm always walking in a direction. I usually do it for like 4 hours maximum, or do a loop around the park and do the different kids' playgrounds. And then like I always form a gang of kids, and we do little games together and stuff, and have a good time. Or I have my cart and it's full of stuff. But yeah, it's a joy for me, and I just wanted to learn and get really good at it because I had the opportunity to learn from someone who was really, really talented and knew about like fancy theater, which I had never known anything about.
I hear you. I
That
think
shit is fancy, man.
So, Joe, I see your comment, brother. I can't remember what the exact problem was, but I did look you up, and it says it's not active. So I'll have to get with you again. Yeah, I was looking for our comments, and I can't remember exactly what the situation was. But yeah, I'm sorry, man. We'll figure it out, though. I know locals can be a pain in the butt sometimes, but I do appreciate everybody for going over there because, as I've said many times, my money and my monetization and stuff can all be taken any moment from Facebook or X or wherever that you're at, really. And I like having that home away from home, that private, group over there on the locals, away from the haters, away from the spam and scammers and stuff like that. $2 is all it takes to get in, and you can pay $20 for a whole year, which makes it $1.60 something a month. And we do all kinds of things, including this spin here, and you get 3 chances a week on that, plus game night. You probably would like game night, Smith. We do a game show on Sundays to show some support back to my subscribers and support a bunch of sponsors that I have now on game night, which is awesome. All right, so we're going to do this spin here. Good luck, everybody. I am parched. Drink some water. Drinking water. So if you smoke, you do smoke. And I told you I would refrain from smoking because I want to make sure that we keep this professional for our friends on X. We have a lot of 33 friends from X right now. I usually smoke on the show, but it's there's a lot of stigma behind it still, and so I guess I'll ask you this: like, if you were a user of cannabis, what kind of cannabis would you use? The in the couch kind of.
Yeah, I usually buy stuff that is. So I would buy an ounce that is like pure CBD, and then I would buy something that ideally was like half and half, which is hard to find, but not really super high THC. Definitely like, shit's so high now, it's crazy to me. But really, I want something for my body pain. I want my body, I want to feel that icy blue in my muscles, man, and stretch and feel good and dance and stuff like that and move around, spin my hat because of my fucking pain, man. So, and it also helps me get inspired and shit with my creative ideas because I'm in school. I'm in art school. I'm finally using the rest of my GI Bill because I only got a couple years left to use it. So, yeah, I study sculpture. It's permasculptures, right? Like I said. So,
I haven't even looked back at that. I probably should.
Yeah, it's fine. No, man. Look, I mean, that to me is what this all is. I call it the Hobo Railroad, but basically these are guilds or mini cults. The idea is they would form a squad like AmeriCorps and basically travel to communities or different places and do projects, and then have their own sense of identity. Like, hey, we're frog cult, we're the orange frogs, and we're going to go help the frogs or whatever. But the idea is that they have their own sense of who they are, so that they don't get sucked in by people in the world, man. Because people in the world are, the world will just gobble you up, and it changes everyone in the end. But we try to do the best we can and make a world where people can actually travel and have access to clean food and water. I mean, that's clean food and water, man. That to me is coming back to that. That's why I grow food and shit. Good permaculture design. You guys want to come do the course? I'm on X. I really didn't know if I was going to finish it because it is dry in the beginning because I'm reading the manual. But look, I've always felt the permaculture designer's manual is a lot like the Bible. Okay, no one's read it and they're all really guilty about it. Okay, and so because it's kind of unreadable. I mean, but to me, it's really important to read the beginning because it's so explaining the concept of seeing the world through that lens. Okay, and then we're gonna redo it and stuff. But right now, we're getting into the good stuff. You know, like food forest and all the shit people actually want to talk about, like garden tips and stuff like that. Design tips. But that's the thing about permaculture to me. It's like it's about where you put things, not just the garden though, the house, the roads. That's why I'm into Jacques Fresco. Designing the society so that it's human scale, like Le Corbusier. I just did a space about him. He's a famous designer, similar to Fresco or something. They have these big installations that they do all over the place, trying to save humanity with technology or just make life better for people on Earth, man. And that includes these kind of indoor growing systems, like in earthships, where they grow their own. You poop in a toilet, and then it fertilizes the plants, and then the fish. You have a fish pond, and you eat the fish. I mean, come on, man. It's nuts to me. I have solar panels that give people parking tickets, okay, but they're not on every building. That's nuts to me. You know what I mean?
Right. There should be. I like the idea of solar panels on the parking lots over the top of the parking lot. So, have you seen this other thing? Not quite an earthship, but a glass greenhouse, but it's built around a house.
Yeah.
So the person's home in the middle.
Yeah.
And all of that excess heat and all of that.
Yes.
You're getting all the oxygen. Like there's this whole sort of symbiotic relationship happening.
Sure, it makes sense, right?
Amazing. Yeah,
it makes sense.
Great idea. The only issue is the thing is you can't force people to have something like, say, a greenhouse, because the maintenance and the cost of like replacing glass and everything, and the danger and stuff. Like if you were say like if say the city was to force everyone to have a greenhouse, and then like little Susie, breaks the glass and then cuts herself or whatever. Like, oh, well, the government made us have this, so that you're liable for any damage that happens to it and from it, and you know what I mean. Like you can't mandate self-sustainability. That's a problem.
I agree. But we can make it as easy as possible for people to grow food, including just like in the UK, they have allotments where everyone gets a piece of land. Come on, man, right? I mean, that anyone who wants to do it, who always does it is like old Asian ladies and Italian people in the neighborhoods. You see the Italian people do it a lot in the Montreal and other cities. You see it's always Italian people and Asian people, man. The Asian people growing beans and stuff. The Hmongs in Wisconsin grow a lot. They have a lot. They have basically take over little pieces of land like a biodome, Waylon. Yeah, like a biodome. Yeah, man. I mean, those oh my God, biodome. That.
Pauly Shore's been making a comeback. He actually liked my comment on his post one time.
Oh my God, dude. That's hilarious. He what's funny is that movie was actually the movie that I used to, that when I would go see my girlfriend in high school, we would go into into this room basically and watch that movie over and over again, but really we were just making out and we would watch that same movie over and over. So yeah, I think I've seen that movie like a million times. Yeah. It's a terrible movie, but you gotta love it somehow. You know what I mean? It's like, how can you not love how terrible it is in a way?
Right. It does bring some things to life that nobody ever made a movie about, like biodome. Everything's still so old, and they're sitting down, telling everybody selling their food and vegetables. In other countries, like where they have little bazaars and markets and things, yeah, I mean, but we're slowly commercializing those types of places as well. There's a McDonald's and some of the most remote places on the planet, and there's what other things like like Walmart and other things that have been commercialized everywhere, and not just that, but their products have been shoved out everywhere. But to Elise's point, there are a lot of countries still that have the traditional markets. And I like that, but we do too, Elisa May. We have our farmers markets, and I've been trying to make those more popular. I go to those, I do reviews of those.
Dude, especially where you are. You're great, dude. We're fam, bro. You're Great Lakes Midwest, and you're in a place where there's very little action. Like you're a beacon. Like where you are is a clear beacon to me. I'm like, this is the fucking, thank God this guy is exactly where he is, honestly.
Illinois, baby. It's
dude, rock the life, man. Seriously.
And I'm challenging the norms, because a farmer Just before I started doing this, I actually had a job that was a commission-only job. The only time I ever took a job that I really felt called to do this, and it was the only thing I was cost. The only thing that cost me was I had to drive my car to farms and talk to farmers about fire extinguishers. I actually have one right here.
Not a bad job.
Yeah, well, and I got one right here. This fire extinguisher is worth $900.
Oh my gosh.
It's refillable, and it has a gas in this that is not. It doesn't spray a foam over everything. I could spray it, and it's not going to hurt anything other than me, because it what it does is it expands as soon as it hits oxygen. It expands at a rate that's much faster than oxygen. And it basically pushes any oxygen out of the whole area.
Okay.
Anyway, the gas inside of it is what it costs, or where it costs. And I could not. It was right at COVID times, and I could not convince these farmers about the much better product for a couple of reasons. And they wouldn't disclose their MSPS data on the chemicals. Because they wanted to keep their proprietary, this and that.
Yeah.
Well, also there's this whole entrenched level of bureaucracy within our safety equipment. We don't think about that. We're thinking food and medicine even, which is a slightly different but fairly similar to our food.
Right.
But things like fire extinguishers, they haven't been improved upon in many years.
Right.
And people think those old, like the ones that are OSHA certified or whatever, are good enough. And that shit that's inside of those, for one, is toxic. It eats away at everything. There's so many things bad about the fire extinguishers that are like, quote unquote, legal, and they're your business is legal now. Think about all these growers, these cannabis growers who are indoors with this equipment. They're sometimes putting too much equipment in small areas, plugging too many things in, having a lot of fires. And there's just so many things bad about the current industry of fire extinguishers. And I really hope that this company, it seemed like a kind of a pyramid scheme in some ways, but I didn't have to buy any of the products. I just had to sell them, and I would make money. And it just didn't work out because all the farmers at that time, nobody was able to talk to anyone. They didn't even want you to come up to their door.
Really?
You have to talk to them 20 feet away from the house.
Wow.
And this one guy doxed me one time. Well, not really doxed me, I guess, but he had taken pictures of me while I was at his house, and I was knocking on his door. No one was there. I went over to his shop, knocked on the door, and he took pictures of me walking around knocking on the door. And he was like, "Have you seen this man around your neighborhood?" He posted it up on the local, the town Facebook.
Oh man!
Facebook. It was the Hannah City Happenings is what it was called. It was their town.
What do you say though? What do you say you did?
He doesn't know, but I commented on the post and I said, "Oh hey, so and so, I'm out here. We're out here talking fire extinguishers.
It's free advertisement."
Yeah, you want me to come back? We can talk about it. This and that,
That's great. That's great.
But I never sold any. It was bad. I really felt like it was a good product to get behind, but. And I'm not terrible. Like, I've been in sales. I'm not going to say I'm the best salesperson. I don't like to lie to people about product. Like, oh, you have to have this. But this is one of those things, though. If you see the demonstration on it, it's like it's a very incredible invention. You can spray this on food, like at a food factory. You can spray it directly on food that catches fire, and you would not lose all your product. Versus if you spray a traditional fire extinguisher on food in a factory, all of it's bad now. You can't eat and you can't salvage any of it. Anyway, so there's just so many things about it that I wish. I want to get a hold of that company now too. As far as when I start to get a bigger following, I'm going to be like, hey, we should work together, man. I want to help you guys. Because think about some of the big cannabis movers and shakers in the industry. As some of these states go legal, they could really use a product like that, because being able to put out the fire. Okay, so this is what happens. Companies like Bush's Baked Beans buy this product, but they can't, that's not OSHA certified. So they'll buy the product and they can use it but they will also buy the silly one that the OSHA makes you buy, the one that doesn't work very well, the one that they don't plan to use because it ruins whatever they spray it on. So they buy both. And so people will have to do that to get around it, just to have something that actually will salvage your product and put the fire out in a really good way. We're not at his healthy. Wait, what, Lisa May? We're not at his healthy here for the worst country. Okay.
She's talking about USA or Canada.
The mass production, yeah, some people think that we could do without the big farms, but that's not quite true either, right, Elisa? We couldn't possibly feed all the people.
Unless we did perennial, if we did perennial systems, we could. Because
okay.
a big part, that's the biggest argument in permaculture. I mean, shit, restoration agriculture with Mark Shepard. I've read it 3 times. I mean, that's a big thing he talks about. You know, but it's because people are stuck eating the same fucking foods they've eaten forever culturally, and they don't want to let it go, man. That's why.
Or here's what I think, and maybe it's just my opinion from my own diet. I don't want to eat we'll say I have an apple tree, right? And I don't want to eat apples 4 or 5 days a week. You know, but the truth is that may have been what a lot of people's diets were, not apples specifically, but whatever was nearby growing, you know, the permaculture that was nearby. And like you would be
right, but we live in a global food system now, so people are used to getting all kinds of crazy shit.
Yeah, that's what I mean. It's like,
but that's why growing indoors, like doing the citrus and crazy stuff indoors, man, that's the next big thing, man.
Yeah, I would love to have an indoor orchard. I want to have an indoor. So here's one of my I have many end goal plans, but one of them is to have multiple rooms in a facility that each room is climate controlled and environmentally controlled for a different environment of the planet. So you have those more drier, desolate type plants, like say cactus and whatever else, in a certain room. You would have the plants that need a much more rainforest type environment. You'd have, you know, like I would separate them out, but have, say, tropical plants all year long. But that's in the tropical room. That's not in the, you know, the whatever room. Like, and so you would have a separate room, like a Willy Wonka's chocolate factory of sorts. An Earthship meets Willy Wonka's chocolate factory. I don't know, on steroids. Let's go. What's up, Joe Kelly? Cheers, brother. So the winner tonight was number 10. That would be Mr. Sean Cook. So shouts out to Sean Cook. If anybody's out there, you want to tag him, you can. It would be fine. I did respond to his post on Locals. I'm going to start trying to do that. Just respond to your comment so that you know you won, as long as you check your notifications. We're at about an hour and a half mark now. We'll be probably closing up pretty soon. But yeah, if anybody is watching on X, and any of you on Facebook watching on X, go check out Mr. Jimmy Smith. I'm going to call you Jimmy Smith, or I'll just call you Smith Tender. I'll start making up random amalgamations. You're muted.
It's Purple Smith at Jimmy Leaf Tender. Nice to meet you.
Purple Smith. I'm just going to keep coming up with different combinations of your name. I appreciate you coming on, though, man. We need to have more conversations like this. Like, whenever I have someone on for the first time, usually I like to just kind of let the conversation flow. But we could always come on and, like, sort of tackle a specific issue if you ever definitely want to have you come back. Hey, thanks, Margaret. I wasn't sure if you were in the house or not. Let's play a little tune from Margaret. I'm gonna be like the sophisticated podcast host out there. Those of, like, you know, say like the Daily Wire and such, you know, they're out there smoking their cigars. That's all this is, Ben Shapiro. Don't worry, brother. I'm going to have a smoke for you, you and Dennis Prager. Going to have you have a quick smoke. We're going to listen to MJ's Baked Goods. I'm going to play a little more AI music for you, Smith. I don't know if you're interested, but I got some good stuff on here. This is not it though. Here it is. It's a song about one of my sponsors for game night, Miss MJ's Baked Goods.
In the heart of the city, where the green leaves grow, lives a lady named MJ with a glow you'll know. With her initials so clever, she's the queen of the bake. MJ's Baked Goods.
Actually, that's not the one she likes. She likes this one better. She likes this one better. Yeah.
In the heart of the city,
Cheers, everybody.
where the green leaves grow, lives a lady named MJ with a glow you'll know. With her initials so clever, she's the queen of the bake. MJ's Baked Goods, oh what a treat to take. Oh MJ, with your cookies so sweet, you've got
Oh yeah.
magic
Good.
touch.
On in the house. What's up, man?
In your kitchen,
Cheers, brother. Good luck or good
with every
congratulations.
bite we're lifting, love you so. She runs a group on Facebook where
We'll write that down, Sean. Pie that's on parole. So the best line in that song, AI comes up with it. He says, pie that's on parole. I love it. And a pie that's on parole. We love it. Everybody, an inside joke now. Pie that's on parole. Pie that's on parole.
They'll make your day. From brownies to biscotti in every delicious way.
Alright. Write this down, song.
You sponsor the fun every night, every time. With a Wayland hosting the laughter spree. The indoor farmer game night, it's where you wanna be. Every Sunday evening, the community gathers round for games and giggles with MJ's treats profound. She's the life of the party, she's the heart of the show. With MJ's Baked Goods, how could we ever say no? Wayland's podcast, it's the talk of the town you see. With prizes and laughs, it's the place to be. MJ's name, it echoes far and wide for her love of the plant and her baking.
Alright.
Oh, MJ, you're more than just a name. You're an icon, a legend in this cannabis game. So here's to MJ. Let's raise a cheer for the fabulous woman.
That's the biggest part right there.
So if you're looking for joy or
Hard to do. It hurts my shoulder to do that.
MJ, where the cannabis pleases. MJ's Baked Goods, where love is baked in. With MJ, the fun never has to end.
Have your private chat. You hear me? I just got your private chat on the StreamYard. It's just a plant. Just stuck a plant in there.
Oh, I didn't know it was a private chat. Yeah, we're good.
That's okay. What's your favorite plant that you've ever grown?
Oh my gosh, that I've ever grown?
Well,
I mean,
do
I
you
love.
remember, do you remember the first thing you ever tried growing?
No, I don't know if I do.
I tried growing lettuce the first time. I grew
Okay.
lettuce.
Okay, yeah, I guess.
Were you growing things as a younger man, like in with like family, or was it something you got into as like after the war, after the military?
So I didn't grow. I mean, my auntie did, but so if I did it in any capacity, like for example, when I study sustainable living, I started out on the building track, and that was taking natural building. For example, we built a Mexican adobe in the desert, in the Chihuahuan Desert in Texas. As a kid, I mean, I was doing a lot of natural building forts and stuff. So if I had grown food, it was by accident, but certainly. And that's how that's how you do forest gardening, especially in an urban setting. But that's what I really am as a forest gardener. So I often don't see the results of my work, you know. So I usually do it and then I walk away and I never see it again, you know. I mean, not always. That's why the sculptures, but I do the sculpture, then I'm focused on it all the time and trying to make it go higher and higher. But I like the vines because in the 7-layer system, you can create like a tunnel effect and you can sculpt trees. I'm really into tree sculpting. It's not that hard to do. It's just understanding the basis of coppicing, how you cut it and it grows back again, and right, this kind of stuff. So, and pollarding. So it's a technique you use when you do cell grazing or farming, where you let a tree, you cut all the branches off, and then you let it grow back, but you make it so tall that that the livestock can't reach it, and then you use it as fodder for them, right, as it comes in.
Right.
So
I've
sustainable.
heard of that with the apple tree, with the lower branches, like getting the branches, uh, training the branches to grow low, or all like keeping the tree from getting too high up, so that you don't have to use ladders to go and get the fruit,
Sure.
stuff like that. I definitely like that. So you would say then maybe your expertise comes more in knowing what you can forage. I mean, that's a whole.
No. I'm a terrible forager. I mean, I'm just saying that's the best place to start. I would say definitely not my expertise. If
Okay.
anything with permaculture design, I'm in a book. Look, if I have any claim to fame in permaculture, other than these designing these cults and stuff, because to me this is when I made Purple People, it was a sculpture. To me, it's a social ecological sculpture. Okay, and that is a permaculture design to me. Now, a lot of people think like things aren't real to people unless you can like hold them in your hands or something, right? Even money, like there has to be like
Love.
land or money, right? So, but real, they're like, where is it? Where's the thing? I'm like, all the ideas start in your head anyway. So it's like it's not real to them because it's not physical, but really it is a thing. It's like these invisible strings that connect everything together. So to me, it's about making fertility and creating the opportunities so that life can flourish. Which really you just add water. If you just add water to fucking anything, man, you're gonna see a system pop up. It's
I
called
always like it when
succession.
it's wet.
Yeah, man. I mean, succession. I mean, you reach a point of succession in a stable system like a forest, and all of a sudden, it's there unless you physically remove it. And that's the thing to me is working these forest edges. In design, we understand in an ecosystem, most of the biodiversity is going to be on the edges of the system, whether it be a pond or a forest edge, right? But it's so funny how most people make a pond and it's like a circle. Like most people, when they
Right.
think of a pond on a map, they would draw a circle or like a kidney shape, right?
Mhm.
But in reality, if you want the maximum edge on a pond, you would make it more like a starfish with 5 legs, but then add 5 more legs. That is the most of edge you could put it on a pond. But most people would never do that, though, right? Yet it would be have more biodiversity. So it's simple shit like that that when applied over and over again, you're really working the edges. Like you're basically maximizing every 1%. We talk about Pareto principle, and there's different ways of describing it. But one of my favorite examples was my Mollison with fish ponds. He talked about how
Oh, fish
like
pond.
basically you can get to 80%. You can go for the easy 80% in your systems. A lot of people they try to collect everything, but what you'll find is that after 80%, 81, 82, 83% of your nuts or fruits or whatever it is, you're going to fight harder and harder for each one of those percents.
Sure.
Whereas if you invest in all these different layers, then you can pull 80% easy, and then just let the rest go. Go back to nature. There's more than enough for the squirrels, even if you're doing shiitake mushroom logs. I've seen it. So this idea that you can't do these systems is not true. It's because of food lobbies and these big companies who make it so that they want to control. They control people who control money, control how they can carve up the world with it. So basically, we pay for the pleasure of them manipulating us into whatever the fuck they want. I don't know. Rich people, like we talked about tyrants around every corner, man. I mean, it doesn't matter who it is. There doesn't need to be a mass conspiracy in order for rich people to want to keep their own fucking money and make sure that other people can't take it from them, right? So
Leveraging their advantages is just a human nature, and that's what's happening.
everybody does it, man. And there's no precedent in history where this amount of income inequality. The pitchforks are coming, man. There was a guy who came out after the Luigi shooting and said it 10 years ago. He was a guy who got super rich, has yachts and houses. He said, "Look, I'm not smarter than anyone else." He said, "But trust me when I tell you, like this can't keep going because when you have this like fucking such a small amount of people just living like hogs. You ever see that meme and it says me drinking a mushy straw and then billionaire on a fucking jet with a house on it, like billionaires like not giving a fuck. You know what I mean? It's just like people. Why? When did people start worshiping with billionaires, man? When the fuck did that happen? It seems like the biggest joke of all time on us. So I don't know.
Um, I would have to say when people started maybe not necessarily worshiping, but when they started to look more closely at millionaires than it was billionaires, to see what is it they're actually doing versus what is it they say we
Well,
should
they're
do.
robbing people, is what they're
Well,
doing.
well,
No one
okay,
can
but
work for $1 billion. They make what, 19, but this guy CEO Brian guy made $19 a minute. Who the fuck can make $19 a minute? That's a joke, man. No one can work hard enough to make $19 a minute when people are actually fucking dying because they can't have health care in the United States, man. That shit is a joke. That shit is
I don't
crazy to
know.
me.
It's
Can you
hard
believe
to
that?
fathom. Well, I don't know that it's necessarily his fault. It's a commodity based
No, it's a
thing.
symptom of a much larger problem,
Right,
right?
right.
As we can't blame that guy. He's just, but dude, it's like Chris Rock said. I feel sorry for the guy. He's got a family, and it's a terrible thing. But sometimes drug dealers get shot, bro. You know what I mean? Sometimes drug dealers get shot, and that's just the
Right.
way it is. You know, because they
Yeah,
deny people care and shit, and just let them die. And fucking, basically, people's lives are measured in dollars and cents, man, and they could live longer and have healthier lives. But we choose money over people's fucking lives, dude. It's pathetic, man. And both sides of the
yeah.
aisle, agree with it. The only people who don't are rich fuckers, man. Rich fuckers who basically manipulate us so they can fucking take the cake, dude. And there's
Well, I
way
don't
more of
agree that
us,
it's.
dude.
I don't agree on the premise because I don't believe that it's health care. I like the new phrase "sick care."
Dude,
We are not promoting on the front end. Like we shouldn't be. Like by the time we
100%,
get to
Elisa.
that guy and his whole industry, we should be able to eliminate a lot of that because we are taught more early on
Hmm.
in schools and in our families how to become more
Yeah,
healthy through food is medicine,
right.
food is a drug, and that there's really no difference between the FDA, Food and Drug Administration. Like there's no difference between food and
Yeah,
drugs. Like
look at what Lisa said. I
um,
can't. Our country is ran like a family-run mom, and they keep it in the family and at the top. And if you're lucky, you might get there somehow. But that's the
that's
joke, man.
every
You ever see
country.
that
That's
meme
everywhere.
where you
That's
become a
power.
clown, where you slowly become a meme, and because oh yeah, maybe if I lick a billionaire's balls and suck his ass, then maybe one day I'll be like him too. The joke's on you, motherfucker. You know what I mean? The joke's on you because most people work for a living, dude. Like,
Yeah.
and get paid shit. And like, it's like my permaculture teacher said, man, we should be working 20-hour weeks since the 70s, and yet people work harder than ever with the amount of technology we have. It's just that people don't know what's enough for them, especially billionaires who we line their fucking pockets, dude. We line their pockets, and it's just like never enough. Once you have 2 mountains of gold, you need 3, man. The greed
Yeah.
knows no limits, and the greed knows no limits. And so sooner or later, man, people get hungry, dude. And you can't
So
starve people forever, dude.
I get that, but I also
Like a
think
mob,
that
right here. Lisa said that because our country's ran like a mob. They are the
that's
organized
every
crime.
country though. Like point me to
100%, dude.
I think that's what happens when you concentrate enough people in one place where the greedy,
Yeah.
the ones that want the power rise to the top, that
Mm-hmm.
take it. And that's human
Right.
nature.
But
And I
these are
think,
solvable problems. There's a great video. It's behind a paywall now. It's about CEOs and narcissists and presidents. It's like Annie Leibovitz or whatever said. She said, the guy said, "How do you become a sociopath if you're a president?" She said, "How do you not be a sociopath?" The point is, like, certain people
right,
seek power, and so good people get run out of
a
politics
certain
because who
type,
needs the
yeah.
problem? The sexy leadership is being quiet and doing the right thing, but people pay attention to the loudest person in the room, which is why I fucking yell like this, because it's the only fucking thing people listen to. You know what I
Well,
mean?
what if we made it more popular to be like a monk? If you were a politician, but you were a monk,
Dude.
like your status, your social
Oh
status
my
was
God, man.
that you live with nothing and you sit and like meditate in your like shack.
Yeah.
And yeah, you get the federal you get the security, you get the
Right.
secret service, but like the whole like things like okay, not saying Elon Musk is perfect, but he
Sure.
did that whole stunt where he gave away all of his wealth, right? He
Sure.
basically he's worth a lot of money, but he doesn't have like stacks of cash sitting anywhere. Well, maybe he
Sure.
does. Who knows? But
Well,
like the whole point was he gave away a bunch of his money, and
sure.
he sleeps on the floor at Tesla and shit, or used to anyway.
Sure.
But that kind of a act, or say when Trump gave away his whole salary, and I think he's already pledged this next salary to somewhere. I forget what it was.
Okay.
I want to say the ACLU, but I doubt it. I think it was some kind of a charity, or I forget what it was. But he pledged his next salary. But if we could see more politicians doing that, saying, well, oh yeah, well, I can pledge more of my salary than you can, and like have them have a pissing match, but in that way, yeah, we'll give you all the praise, but
I don't know how much that matters compared to how much these people are all basically working for big corporations. They don't
that's what
work
I
for
mean,
the,
though. It's like
yeah,
if they could put their money where their mouth is, so to speak. And I'm
right.
not
But
saying money is just
there's
one
so few
example
that
of that.
do, man. I mean,
Yeah,
who actually says, it's like Chomsky said, man. He said, when God forbid that they would ever do anything for actual people. Because it's not
right.
just bad. It's not just bad. It's a fucking tragedy, dude. It is a Greek tragedy. Bill Burr said this. It's a Greek fucking tragedy, man. Whenever God forbid that they would represent actual people in the government, because they represent
Do
big
you
oil billionaires and all these other fucking people, man, who have
right?
more money than they know what to fucking do with already. But every quarterly report cannot be bigger than the last one. It's mathematically impossible, man.
Yeah, and I hated that about retail. When I worked in retail, they were like, "We got to have bigger than LY last
Dude,
year. We
dude,
got to
look what
how
Elisa
did you do
said,
last year? What? How can you possibly continually do
dude.
that? You can't do
I
that."
was gonna say him being president's going to help his business benefits, so like he gives a shit. Exactly, man. Why the
That's
fuck?
fine. That's fine. If you're going to do
Right.
something altruistically and it's going to benefit you, I'm fine with that. But what I
Sure.
want to see is um, a difference in the lifestyle. We celebritize
Yes.
it. We're
Yes,
celebritizing it.
where we work. Kids
And
worship dudes who throw money in
yeah,
Ferraris and shit, man. It's
exactly. So
sad,
we're
dude.
making that look like the thing to do versus
Yes.
like. So I like philanthropy.
Yeah.
There's plenty of that. There's examples of that. But
Yeah.
sometimes, almost every example that you can also say is a write off or whatever. And
100%, man.
okay, that's our
Why?
tax issues. That's our
Yeah.
government side letting that happen. That's not the billionaire or the
Right.
millionaire taking advantage of the situation.
Sure.
I don't know. I think we definitely have a long ways to go. I'm hoping
Mm-hmm.
I have some hope for the future, but
Mm-hmm.
I like to bring it back to the individual and think of what we
Yes.
can do individually. What can I
Yes.
do? Well, I can get my ass off the phone a little bit more during the day and put my hands in the dirt a little bit more.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
That's what I'm trying to push for, and that's what I'm taking a whole week off next week so that I can get more organized in my house. I
Right.
have a whole office I'm organizing. I have a bunch of things I got to get done. I have to put some
Mm-hmm.
lights up in my grow room. And
Mm-hmm.
so I'm going to take a week off from my podcasting so that I can get some things organized in my head
Sure.
and in my house and actually refocus my efforts on what I can affect.
Mm-hmm.
And for me, that is building this business to a degree that is a size where I can help other people in certain
Mm-hmm.
ways, offer them work, get produce out to people. I have this whole idea that I'd love to run by you sometime. We probably don't have time on the episode tonight,
Mm-hmm.
but if I can build my social media footprint
Mm-hmm.
and presence to an extent where think about my show. It's a late night and adult entertainment talk
Mm-hmm.
show about self-sustainability, like just like
Sure.
all of those other late night talk shows, except for
Mm-hmm.
instead of politics, we're talking directly self-sustainability. So
Yeah.
there is a market for late night adult humor and,
Sure.
and
Sure.
conversation. So eventually this could be something big enough to where my farm is
Mm-hmm.
a farm that where people pay what they can, or
Mm-hmm.
most of
That's
the time
awesome.
like nothing, right? Pay a zero
Sure.
if they want to play zero. So it could be this whole living sort of a apparatus where
Gift economy.
yes, and make it a thing where there's a camera, kind of like the old Pawn Stars show, except they don't have to be on camera. They can just they can if they want, but make it a thing where it's a popular thing and it's
Mm-hmm.
a pop culture. But then that pays for the giving away of
Sure.
nutrition and making health cool again. But anyway, I'm done rambling. I want to let you promote anything. We already kind of did, but
Sure.
we got less than 10 minutes here, so we're
Cool.
gonna probably head out in a few. But
Yeah. Thanks.
again, man, guys, go follow at Jimmy Leaf Tender on X if you haven't yet.
I'm on Facebook there too. There's Jimmy Leaf Tender. I don't use it as much, but it's there, and it's all connected on
Find you on
Instagram.
Facebook.
So if you want to find Silly Uncle Bud, you can find him on Facebook. I really appreciate TikTok. If you're out use TikTok, please follow me as Silly Uncle Bud. If you're on X, that's where I mostly am. That's where we do the social audio podcasting. That's where I'm involved with all these communities. It's at Jimmy Leaf Tender. And I'm part of many communities, including the homesteading community, Permaculture Design, Purple People, the Bat Squatch Gang, and many, many more. So come out and hang out. And, we do spaces about everything.
Sorry, do you think TikTok is going to be around much longer, or what do you think's going to happen with
Well,
that?
I'm a Canadian permanent resident, so I might have an
Oh, I see.
advantage to that. Yeah, I'm born and raised in the U.S., but I've been living there for like 6, 7 years, so I think I'm going to keep it, and that might be a huge advantage just to have that. Honestly, we'll see.
I've never used it. I don't plan to use it,
Yeah,
but yeah, a lot of
it's the
people
best
blow it over
algorithm.
there.
It's the
Yeah.
best algorithm, but there's too much freedom of speech, man. There's too many people talking
You
shit
think?
about you. Yeah, dude. Are you kidding me? Like all the best fucking videos of people saying the way the world actually is, like they want that censored, man. Like
Huh.
YouTube and all these other, like these are owned by like the big corps that I'm right here talking shit about, man. So they're gonna
Well, what
censor
about
the fuck
X?
out of it.
Well, so what about X? You think
Dude.
X is not quite as? You think it's not what we think it is, or what?
I mean, in terms of
Freedom of
like
speech. You know?
talking shit about billionaires, man. I mean, look, I would never insult the old holy techno king Elon Musk, okay? Because
I think he gets plenty of insults on there. I think.
I mean, look, man, he clearly fucking takes, you know what I mean? He's taking political sides, obviously. It's just
Yeah, I
crazy
mean,
because
he
he was
kind of has.
darling of the. Well, yeah, man, kind of. There's no kind of about it.
He was
He's
forced
literally a
into it.
bit. He's a billionaire pumping money into like it's a game show into fucking Pennsylvania to get votes. It's a fucking complete joke of the democracy and everything, man. These fucking people who can
Yeah,
buy because since Citizens United, man, and
we
people are
know. Hold on.
corporations and all this fucking bullshit.
There's
This is
examples of
horseshit,
money
man.
not working though. There's examples of the person having more money but not winning the race recently.
100%.
You
It
know,
doesn't
so
make
it's not
any difference though. It doesn't make any difference
right.
because it should be one vote, one person, man. One vote,
Yeah,
one person. $1. 20 like Bernie Sanders, $27. Even that, I say fuck that too. You should not be able to give money. It should be what the person says and that they say they're going to do. You
yeah.
shouldn't
No,
need
I
millions
totally
and
agree.
millions and millions of
How do we
dollars.
get money out of politics? I don't know.
Dude, if you put people on an even platform, that's the last thing anyone wants because then they have to compete, man. And once you're on top, it's like you said, man. Once you're on top, you want to stay on top. You don't want to give up your property, right? You want to give up your fucking money. You don't want someone to take your place, so you fight as hard as you can to keep your shit, which means, because look, this is the thing that secretly people say, "Oh, it's the thing you learn from this guy Everyday Spy." This idea that most people are like they say they want equality, they say they want people to be equal, but in reality, most people they want to be above other people. That's what
Right.
they really want. And so, how do we navigate a world as such? I think that's why developing the
We
most
are.
strong, sustainable systems that we can make, so that when kids grow up, they all get an equal shake, man. They all got hot meals, clean food, and a decent education.
I
Because
just
then
don't
at
think
least we
that's
have the best
possible.
fucking chance.
You're always gonna have the next town over that's doing worse off or whatever. And
Sure.
I think it's part of human nature. The more I
Mm,
think my personal belief is the more that we can agree and accept
mm-hmm.
that there is this up and down of life. There is good and
100%.
evil. There is ugly and beautiful. Like
Yeah.
without those things, without one, you can't have the other.
Yeah.
And if we continually think that we can uh, plan away the stuff that's bad that happens in life,
Yeah.
or find a way to take away
Sure.
bad
But look,
things,
what Lisa said, it's a policy choice, bro. Look, the top percentage should have to help with that. They got all that money. That's just sit in there while somebody's not eating. That's sad. The point is, dude, this is a
that's
policy choice. They could easily make sure people have enough to eat and have infrastructure. But the greed, man. The greed knows no bounds, man. They'll starve. They'll literally let people starve and die because they don't give a fuck. As long as they can have as much money and power as humanly possible, dude. And so, should we let people basically do that because it drives innovation and stuff? There are people who believe this. And you know what? I don't know. I mean,
it is.
I understand. You put too many restrictions on shit, then that you can't. Then there's no flourishing, right? But
Where's the number?
where
What's the
can
number? You don't want someone to be like, okay, well, I've reached the cap. I'm not. I'm
top
not.
1%, top one. But look,
That's
you don't even have to do top 1%. You could
$450,000. That's not
you
even that much.
no. That's what Francis said. You do
Yeah, that's not
you do,
1%.
dude. That's of course, dude. If people who are millionaires and work for a fucking living, I'm talking about people who are like big money, man. They don't have to pay
Talking about
taxes.
top
Amazon doesn't pay
0.01%.
taxes. Everyone knows that, man. Everyone fucking knows that shit. And that's I don't think it's right, man. I think it's horseshit. You have all these other countries
I
who
just
have
don't know how
basic
you fix
health
that,
care
man.
and screening, man. Like in Scandinavia, they screen. People in the US die of preventable diseases, man. Like they could just don't get a screening. They don't have basic dignity, man, in the society. It's so fucking crazy to me, dude. It's
People
like
die
my
in other
mother from
countries,
manager.
though.
He was in Vietnam and he said You know, he said, you know, if you get sick, you could lose your house. That's why he believed was into that shit, because it's true, man. It's like, what good is life in the neighborhood if like ever you get sick and you lose everything? You know, it's fucked.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's how it's always been, though. And I will agree that through
Yeah.
technology, I think that we will. I think technology and innovation
Mm.
does bring people up, even the lowest of us, the people that we're talking about,
Mm-hmm.
all the worst situations that we can think of right now. Everyone in the
Yeah.
comments, that is still way better off than that same level
Dude.
of poverty like 100 years
Dude.
before. You know, like all
Dude,
people
without question.
you know,
Dude, to your point, people
all
think
I'm
things are
saying.
worse than ever, but really they're better measurably than they've ever been
Right.
before, except for like since the most recent
There's always
big wealth
corruption.
transfer. Huge
Yeah.
wealth transfer, dude. Everyone knows it. Well, they're starting to know. And now people are on, the CEOs are on notice, man, and they're scared, and I think we should keep them scared because it's really important that they just, before they can swipe a pen and just fucking steal someone's life away, man. That's people. They're
I
individual
don't
people.
think that it's going to fix anything. It made them now
Well, it
made
already
all
did. It already did because they were
it
going to
did.
take people off the anesthesia early. Can you believe this bullshit? And then they changed it as soon as he got killed. Dude, are you?
You know
Oh
what
my
else I
God,
saw? Well, hold on.
that's
There's
so
another thing I saw.
crazy.
All the CEOs now have more is it anonymity? They've hidden all of their
Yeah,
information more, and they've all
yeah,
beefed up the security a lot more.
yeah.
Like now, they're just wasting more of the money that we think that they
And the
don't.
idea that we would
You
pay,
know,
that our tax dollars would pay for their fucking security is a joke.
that's
And their
what I'm
fucking
saying.
mental
And
health care? Are you
it's
kidding
worse.
me? That is horseshit,
It's
dude.
going to make them into martyrs. It's going to make them look like
Dude,
the
it
victims.
makes them look so out
It's
of
gonna
touch,
flip.
man.
It's gonna make the. I personally don't think it was a good move, but
Dude,
I think that
terrible.
there are things that we can do to push them out of the system
Yeah.
by pushing things on the other end, like you and I are.
Supply
Health,
chain, brother.
herbs, and
Supply
medicine.
chain.
Grow your
Medicine.
own. All of that we can cut them
Yep.
out of the system.
Yep.
There's
Exactly.
books and knowledge on how on almost all of the normal over-the-counter pharmaceuticals being able to be replaced by things that you can maybe
And
you
dude,
don't make it, maybe maybe you
dude.
find someone that does do the processing or whatever. Like that's
No, but what you're saying,
pharmaceutical.
Waylon, is key because I think this is a key point. I know a lot of people might not agree with me politically, but here's the thing about Waylon and me. Like this is, I've made a lot of friends like Waylon out here because we understand when it comes to food and supply, all the politics can pretty much go out the window. Basically, we arrive at the same place from a different angle, and it doesn't matter because it comes back to the same thing: sustainability, man. We need this stuff. We need clean food, water, sustainable living, man, all through the society. And there's no downside to this. And if we want to be
Right.
truly free and sovereign, like as individuals in our hearts and minds, and not be tyrannized by fucking petty tyrants, this is the way, man.
Yeah, and whichever way you believe on the more grand scale, the best power you can have is to take more
Mm-hmm.
individual, sovereignty on what your own on your own on yourself. I guess I don't know. I'm losing the words here, but like taking your own
Mm-hmm.
actions into
Words into actions, man.
uh I'm losing it. I
It's
think
all
it's
right,
time
man.
to go.
It's been a
It's
long
time,
show.
it's
It's
time
been a
to
good
go.
show,
Yeah.
dude. It's been awesome. Thanks, Elisa. Thanks for commenting. Follow me on Facebook,
Yeah.
Jimmy Leaf Tinder. I'm not there, but I'm on X. And thanks for Waylon coming. I hope you could, come on soon, and we'll do another one here, or they come on to X and we'll bullshit or whatever, man.
Yeah,
It's
let me
been
know
fun.
more of the spaces. I'm trying to get more
Yeah.
into them. I'm really
Yeah.
trying to grow on X. Like
Cool.
I have. I like to think of my community as an internet based community, not a certain platform based community. That's
I
why
like
I'm
that.
all
I like that.
multi-platform.
Yeah,
I don't
man.
want to be pigeonholed or stuck into one platform, but I think I should be
Thanks,
able to
Mark.
grow on X quite a bit more. Definitely. But yeah, I do always appreciate the opposing views. That's what people in the
Hmm.
box is always
Well,
about.
that's what I dig. You have a really chill personality, and I can fire at you like this. Take it
Yeah,
personal, and I appreciate it, man. We have a good time.
I push back myself. I think, well, what about the other
100%.
side of this? We think about that.
100%, man.
So,
We got to use
but
our
anyway,
heads.
yeah, thanks again,
Peace,
Smith,
brother.
and everybody out there. Please hit the like button if you haven't yet already. And yeah, we'll be talking to you soon at some point. We'll get on some spaces and things. But yeah, thanks again, guys. Tomorrow night, 8 o'clock Central Time. People in the boxes. Remember, it's all fun and games. You can disagree on all kinds of things, but every person that you ever meet will still have to eat food to survive. So good night, guys. We'll see you soon. Peace.
Peace.
Yeah, this is for my green thumbs in the game. Wailing the indoor farmer, check my name. Sustainability, we about to reclaim. This is how we do it, keep it in the frame. I'm Waylon the farmer, the indoor king. Living off the grid, what the city can't bring. Got my hydro setup, my LED lights. Growing all my greens, all through the night. Self-sustained, that's the mission. Growing my own, I'm not missing. Indoor farming, the hustle's real. Waylon's here, and